Welcome to another edition of Our City. A few things going around the city of Elizabeth this week. On Thursday, February 26th at 12:15 in the afternoon, I'm going to attend an event in recognition of Women's Heart Health Month, and it's going to be held in the City Council chambers located on the third floor of City Hall. And following that event, I'll join Assemblywoman Annette Kean at an emergency preparedness presentation titled, Are You Ready? This event will be held at Union County College, the Kellogg Building, located at 40 Jersey Avenue in the city. It's going to help educate New Jersey residents on how to prepare for more natural or man-made disasters. For more information, call 908-327-9119. And later that evening at 6:30, the Office of Youth Safe Haven program will present an expose about Black history dating back to the 1500s to present time. This event will feature music, dancing, fashion, will be held at the Miller Evans Logan Center at 161-163 First Street in Elizabeth. And on Friday, February 27th at 5 o'clock, I'll join the Office of Youth SOAR program for a Black History Month celebration. This event will be held at the O'Donnell Dempsey Center, located at 618 Salem Avenue, and it will have a Motown theme, so please join us. Also on Saturday at noon, I will join the Office of Youth's Building Future Leaders program for a Black History Month celebration, and this will be at the Stephen Sampson Center, located at 800 Anna Street. For more information for any of these Black History programs, please call 820-4032. If you need more information concerning these events or any other event in the city of Elizabeth, please call our Public Information Office at 908-820-4124. So please stay with us. After these messages, we'll be joined by members of Kean University's Human Rights Commission and the Holocaust Resource Center.
Kean University has a Human Rights Institute whose mission is to educate and motivate students to get involved in the community, get involved in this world to make a difference. We hear about problems in the world, and we largely remain bystanders to those problems because we're busy and those things seem far away or difficult to change. When you decide to get off the sidelines, you move from being a bystander to an upstander. You stand up in defense of people's human rights and human dignity. So it's really studying and understanding and then acting. And I think that's the core of what the Human Rights Institute is all about. I'm very, very excited to be connected to Kean University because the idea that there is a Human Rights Institute at the university focused specifically on how to defend and promote human rights is terribly important to me. So I want to be affiliated with that, build it, and help the students and the faculty here make a big difference. You're here at Kean University learning the things that you want to learn, but you're also learning how to make an impact in the world.
Welcome back to Our City, where I'm pleased to be joined by Miss Janice Kropowski, Miss Elizabeth Turchi, and Miss Mia Zamora. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So we're starting with you, Janice. What's the history of the Kean University Holocaust Resource Center?
Well, thank you, Mayor, for having us on your program today. I'm always grateful to have an opportunity to talk about the Holocaust Resource Center, its offerings, and its history. The Holocaust Resource Center opened its doors on the second floor of the Kean University Library in 1982, and since that time has grown tremendously. Currently, we have over 5,000 research materials, over 400 videos, and also 220 original Holocaust survivor and Holocaust liberator testimonies that are housed there. So the original founders wanted to make sure that Holocaust education was something that reached as far as it could into the school system, not only of Kean University, but the New Jersey state school system, as well as public and private institutions. So they founded the center to ensure that that mission was met.
And Janice, do you get young people from the different schools in the area that come there to do research or hear lectures?
We do. We field calls all the time about young people who are working in their communities on projects And as a matter of fact, we just got a call yesterday from an individual who is looking to interview a child of a Holocaust survivor to learn about the perspective of a second-generation family member. So we get telephone calls all the time from around the entire state.
And Liz, the Human Rights Institute is in the same building. And tell us about the Human Rights Institute as well.
Sure. Well, it opened its doors in May of 2010. The commemoration dedication ceremony was with Kerry Kennedy. And the Institute has a mission of bringing and promoting awareness of human rights issues and bringing those issues here to the students and to the community. And so we work through various lecture series, book clubs, programs, projects, and events to bring interactive educational awareness to these issues and to promote individual empowerment, to act, to...
I was there when Kerry Kennedy opened up the Human Rights Institute. It was a very moving opening to have somebody of that stature, plus her work in the field.
That's right, and she was generous enough to gift to us for in a semester her exhibit, Speak Truth to Power, which was with us for a semester in our institute, our Human Rights Art Gallery.
Mia, you're a professor here?
Yes, I am.
And so tell us about some of the Human Rights Conference, its history, its goals.
I think the crown jewel of the schedule for the year for us at the Human Rights Institute is the conference that we have. So every March, in the beginning of March, this year, March 15th, we gather together in the Wilkins Theater, which is a significant space for our university. More than 1,500 people per year come, and we're very proud that it is not attended only by the Kean University community, but by the broader community as well. So one of the things that happens is that many students, high school students, even sometimes middle school students, and their educator teachers come and they learn about issues around the globe that are facing all of us. Typically, the conference focuses on some particular theme, and then from there we have featured speakers and workshopping and discussion which explore the issues of that theme.
And Janice, can you tell us what the Diversity Council is and its relation to the Holocaust Resource Center?
Sure. The Diversity Council was founded 10 years after the opening of the Holocaust Resource Center. The Resource Center and the Diversity Council, both the vision of its founding director, Dr. Joseph Prael. And the Diversity Council is a consortium of over 50 public and private school districts in the state of New Jersey to offer professional development for educators, as well as student conferences, leadership conferences throughout the year. So it's really an exciting organization that allows educators to get together and network, collaborate, and to think about ways to encourage students to become upstanders within their communities and their society.
Liz, Mia talked about the conference. How has the conference raised awareness and initiated growth in the community?
Sure. Well, this year we have our conference is the 8th annual. So for the last 7 years, we've touched upon various issues that are prevalent not only in our community but in the international world. And we've tailored it to subsequent workshops where students learn how to speak out and use social media and other tools to speak up and be an upstander for the issue they learned about.
And Mia, some of the speakers have...
Yeah.
How about some of the past speakers? We
We've
mentioned
had
Kerry Kennedy, or Liz mentioned, but who else have spoken? I've been to a couple of them.
It's hard to choose. There's so many luminaries. Just off the top of my head,
There's a college word.
we have, first and foremost, John Prendergast comes to mind, and he's not only been a featured speaker at our conference, he's the co-founder of the Enough Project, which is its entire mission is to stop genocide. So he is not only a featured speaker in the conference, but he's also one of our senior human rights fellows at Kean. We're very proud to be working with him continuously. But besides John, I can also think of some highlights like Dr. Tererai Trent. She spoke with us about her story. She, fought the odds remarkably in her native Zimbabwe in order to fight for an education for herself, and consequently has become a very inspired speaker for education for girls throughout the globe. And it's interesting, Oprah, out of all the guests that Oprah has ever had on her show, she claims that Dr. Trent is her most inspired and inspiring guest. She remembers her and names her as #1. And I can testify to the fact that she did that for us in our community as well when she came here. Other names, Nicholas Kristof, the New York Times columnist and human rights activist, Mr. Morris Dees, who is the head counsel of the Southern Poverty Law Council, Melissa Stockwell, who was with us last year, and she was remarkable. She was she's an Iraqi war veteran who is now also a para-triathlete and a para-Olympian, and she spoke to the students and inspired them never to give up.
So Liz, tell us about the goals for the students in the community for this year's conference.
So for this year, we have our topic, health as a human right. And so we have two very renowned speakers, leading thought-provoking experts on the topic, named Kathy Albiza. She's with the National Economic Social Rights Initiative in New York City, and Laurie Garrett. She's the senior fellow on global health policy with the Council on Foreign Relations. So they'll come and speak to the students in the community on March 13th. And bring perspective on access to healthcare and the concept that access to healthcare is a human right, and we'll explore the ways in which we have access and healthcare in this country, and with a global perspective discussing communicable diseases such as Ebola, and the way in which the interconnectedness of the world is today, and communicable diseases in one portion of the world really affects the other, everywhere else in the world.
So what do you think the students get out of that? I mean, students are immune to disease, right? They're all young. They don't. So what healthcare, I should say. It's not a big issue. So what do you hope the students get out of it?
Well, I hope that they realize that they have to be an upstander for human rights is to seek out knowledge and to be informed and aware. And so the conference will really explain why healthcare matters to everyone in the community, as individuals, but also as a collective society, keeping us healthy. There are illnesses that transcend age, race, and gender, and no one is immune to that. And so that will be partly discussed. But further to your question earlier, Mayor, about ways in which we engage students thereafter the conference, Kathy Albiza of Nesri is promoting at a grassroots level campaigns to have wider access to healthcare with her nonprofit, and she's invited our students, our design students and web design students, to work with that campaign and her nonprofit after the conference. So it's those strategic partnerships that we really value in engaging the students to utilize what they've learned at the conference thereafter.
Janice, before we close, tell us about the book club and the HRI gallery installations. How do they work together?
Sure. The book club is the John Pendergrass Book Club. The 6 books were selected by him and the Enough Project. It meets once a month, the last Tuesday of every month, in Kean's very own Barnes & Noble on Green Lane, and we get together and a very natural and organic conversation springs out about the contents of the selected read for the month. This month we're exploring We Wish to Inform You That Tomorrow We Will Be Killed with Our Families. It's about the Rwandan genocide.
I was going to say, it sounds like fun.
And it should be a very interesting conversation. Liz and I co-facilitate that particular group. And in the Human Rights Gallery right now, we have an exhibition on Jan Karski, who was a Polish diplomat who was trying to get word to the West that the Holocaust was occurring during World War II. And on the outside of the gallery, we have featured work from 2 very fantastic second generation of Holocaust survivors, Janet Kerheimer and Eliza Augustine, and both of them are very interested in pursuing collaborative a relationship between the Human Rights Institute and the Holocaust Resource Center. So they're excellent events to attend and open to the public.
I was just going to say, is it open to the public?
Sure, the public is more than welcome. We have several members of the public who participate in the book club and have been very active and engaging participants and have attended our gallery exhibitions as well.
So how can they access the conference before we close, and how do they reach the folks? Me?
The website,
which
you
is?
Well, if you go to the home site of Kean University, then you would put into the search engine Human Rights Institute, and you'll find all the information you need. There's a feature there on the conference.
Ladies, I want to thank you for joining us in this first segment of the show. We're going to talk more with Rose Ganella in the second part of the show about the Human Rights Institute. But thank you very much for your work here at Kean University as well.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor.
Please stay with us after these messages. We're back with more on the Human Rights Commission.
The reason we're here is to show you what our students and what this university does.
I'm very, very excited to be connected to Kean University because it's clear to me that the student body here is very unique. I've met so many young people who are trying to make a difference, who are searching for ways that they can involve themselves in their community and the world to make it better.
John Prendergast of the Enough Project came to visit my class, and he came with the intention of assigning a project to promote human rights on campuses across the nation. And he was so impressed with the results, he decided to give us other projects to work on, including the conflict-free Congo Gold Project.
It was just like a normal classwork, it seemed like, but then it grew into something bigger.
He introduced us to what is actually going on in Congo with the gold and how they're acquiring gold.
And so we developed this whole campaign called Look Who's Getting Engaged.
It was a very different kind of project for them to understand that people so far away needed their help.
Socially conscious agencies are out there, and design is like a hugely powerful entity that we could harness and just market all the great stuff out there for people, and I want to be a part of it.
We were able to utilize all the design tools that we learned over the past years of being in school and apply them towards something that needed to be highlighted.
We went with balloons, we went with ring boxes, anything that ties into the jewelry theme as well as an engagement theme.
Ultimately, they chose to go with the open box and the closed boxes with the names inside.
We presented this concept to them. We worked with them for about, I'd say, 6 weeks on a very intense design schedule. I have to say that this team was as good as any team I've worked with.
So Kean University really has opened the world for them in terms of their profession and what they aspire to be. I'm very, very proud of them. They are just amazing representation of what we do here at Kean University and what we do in the Robert Bush School of Design.
It's very fulfilling because you put all this hard work into something that you want to show to the world, and for it to be actually recognized is just, it's amazing.
Welcome back to our city, where I'm pleased to be joined by Rose Ganella of the Human Rights Commission. Rose, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Now, one of the things they ran at the break was about the Congo Gold ad campaign. And I was just wondering if you could tell us an update on John Pendergast's collaboration with the RBSD students.
Sure, I could.
Which is the Robert Bush School
the Robert
of Design,
Bush
right?
School of Design, and I'm the executive director of the School of Design, and also affiliated with the Human Rights Institute. We're working with them. So the update on that project is it's live. It's up and running. We're getting reports of its success, and because of that, the students have been invited back to the Enough Project to continue work with them. So we're on to new projects, and we're hoping for a long-term relationship to help them.
So you're organizing a component of the Human Rights Week called Human Rights by Design.
That's right.
Tell us about that program.
The theme this year is, for the conference, is healthcare. And we thought to put a component together that would be related to that theme but have a focus on design. And so we invited several designers, professional designers, who have contributed their skills in to advance human rights in the healthcare area. So for instance, we invited Mario Bologni. He is a designer engineer who created an all-terrain wheelchair that's powered so that in rural areas in India and Pakistan and Africa, that you could take this chair, this wheelchair, and be able to maneuver in places that never were imaginable before for somebody with a disability, a health disability like that. We are also inviting another designer who is taking 3D printing into rural Africa and printing prosthetic arms and hands. That's Project Daniel, and his name is Mick Abling, and he's going to Skype in from a distant area, and he's going to tell us about his project. So it's about what design students can do, what anybody can do with their skills to advance human rights for everyone, and in this case, in healthcare.
So, and in the healthcare, and it's very fascinating what you talk about. The component, Kean students probably don't get this exposure elsewhere. This is, what do you expect?
This is a phenomenal experience for the Kean students to actually connect with professionals and see what they're doing, and not only pursuing using their skills for commerce, which is a good thing and the whole world runs for that, but really using them to advance the causes and human rights. And what's really interesting is the students want to do something and they don't realize what they can do, that they could dip into their own skills and pull them out and use them for a greater good, like our students did with the advertising campaign and the social media campaign. And so we're going to invite those students to this component as well, because you want to show that it's not just one area of design, but the broad scope of design.
Which feeds me into the next question.
Sure.
What are some of those alumni doing? What are some of those kids doing?
Well, they're some of them haven't graduated yet, some of them have, and they're off doing, they're pursuing their careers, but they are also contributing to the next phase of the Enough Project, social networking, and other design projects that they're doing. So we're continuing, they're continuing, even as an alumni, they've volunteered to come back and
Are you in touch with any alumni about anything?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you are,
We
right?
have a giant alumni network.
And they're constantly coming up with ideas and creativity,
it's
not only when they were
amazing.
here, but even now they're out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the alumni at Kean in the School of Design are tight. They're really a great group. We have a very active Facebook group with close to 600 alumni just helping each other out and helping current students.
Rose, I want to thank you for taking the time to join us on the show.
Thank
You've
you.
been great, and we're going to yield now, and closing out the segment is going to be Miss Janine Rivera, a student here.
Sure.
So, Rose, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Please stay with us after these messages. I'll be back with Miss Janine Rivera, a student here at Kean University.
Sometimes you learn by helping others learn. Kean University.
Welcome back to our city. I'm pleased to be joined by Miss Janine Rivera, who's in the Human Rights Club here at Kean University, and also a graduate student here, right?
Yes, thank you, Mayor.
What's your mission, Janine? The club, the student. How do you?
Well, actually, I was the founder of the Human Rights Club in 2010.
So you get to write the mission.
Yes, I did. My goal was to have the Kean community reevaluate what it meant to be human. And we wanted to make students aware, and then with that awareness, empower them, and so they can be engaged individuals and active citizens of the world.
And how did you find it going in the very beginning, Janine? Was students adapting to this? Faculty adapting to it, or did you have a rough road ahead of you?
It was a bit of mix of both. We were coming just about as the Institute was being born, and it was a wonderful collaboration with just students that were interested in doing human rights related work, social justice work, and I was actually doing programs with my friend Katie Pagan at the time. And then we were approached by the then director, who was Dr. Henry Kaplowitz, and he said, would you guys like to start a club? And so we said, let's get started, and that's how we came about.
So how many students you have in the club?
Currently, we're in a transition phase. We actually have some student volunteers at the Human Rights Institute that are planning on creating a model UN. So we're getting a lot of new members coming in soon with the new semester.
I participated in a model UN when I was here.
Oh, wow.
They're fascinating instruments of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about the club and how you believe it enriches the campus community.
Again, it's all about bringing awareness. We have students that come into the art gallery, come into the institute, take courses, and they really don't understand that they have rights. And so by bringing them that awareness, they're able then to just let their friends know, tweet about it, use social media, and then take courses, read books, join our book club. And then once one person knows, at least 10 more people learn about it.
Give us some of your favorite experiences.
Oh my goodness, there's so many projects that we've done with the group. We've done Operation Christmas Child, which we collect these boxes, and we've collaborated with so many organizations on campus that then we fill them with little goodies and they get sent all over the world. We even did it for the Haitian relief. We've done solar cookers, raised money for solar cookers. We've actually did a recent program called SOS Uprising that focused on the uprising and the riots that were going on in Venezuela, Hong Kong, and Ukraine at the time. And I actually had a friend who was from Venezuela, and he came to speak to our students and tell them immediately what was going on.
That must have been fascinating to hear directly, right?
It was. It was really great for the students that were there.
So you participate in this book club as well?
I haven't had the pleasure. I've been out of the country, but hopefully I'll be able to catch up soon. I hear it's great.
I want to thank you for taking the time on the show, and I really wish you well in all of your work with the Human Rights Institute, especially the club as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I want to thank Janine Rivera and Rose Ganella, Miss Janice Kroposki, Elizabeth Turchi, and Mia Zamora for joining us on the show this evening, talking about the Human Rights Commission and the Holocaust Resource Center here at Kean University. I hope you all enjoy the evening, and we'll see you next week on another edition of Our City.
Offering everything you could want from college, including a life. Kean University.